Hi, it's Ron Reardon, founder of Patents and More. By clicking on this video, you've identified yourself as a creative person who has an idea and wants to get it into the marketplace, commercialized, and you're kind of wondering, what's my next step? Because you might have done a little bit of research and you've kind of confused by all the conflicting opinions that are out there. Some people will say that you need to just license your idea, let somebody else do the heavy lifting. Other people say, no, no, no. If you want to really benefit from the profits of it, then you need to start your own company. Other people will say the very first thing that you should do is run out and get a patent. And other people will say, no, 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 no. Patents are not the first thing. They have their place, but not as first. And then other people will even say, don't get a patent, don't bother. So a lot of conflicting information out there, and hopefully we're going to be able to clear up some of that, in this video and the ones to follow. But the key thing is that ideas can end up creating new industries. When you look at the titans in the industry, people like Steve Jobs and all the industries that have been created, from just that one person and the ideas in his brain, and other folks like Ted Turner and all the industries and all the people that have been employed by all the things that he's created. It's a fact that ideas, when they're transformed into reality, can really benefit our country as well as benefiting the person who originally had the idea. And so that's what we're looking for, is the process by which we can take the ideas that are in your head and, number one, find out, is it a good idea? One that should be pursued, and if it's a good idea, then what are the other additional elements that are needed in order to get it into the marketplace. Now, I've discovered, by being a registered patent agent and being an inventor myself and working with hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs and product developers and inventors, that there are four essential elements for persons starting out on their own that really needs to be in place in order to have a good chance of success. And of course, there's always risk in everything, and there's no guarantees for success using any kind of methodology. But there's some things that you can do that can increase the odds. And also, as the old country song goes, you need to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And there's some ideas that need to be abandoned and not pursued. And we'll give you some guidance on that also. Now, the four essential elements that we have is, number one, it needs to be a good idea. And of course, the question comes up, well, how can you tell a good idea from a bad idea? But it needs to be something that there's a need in the marketplace and that it's something that can be produced, at a good profit. The basic rule of thumb is that if it costs you $1 to make it, will it sell for $5 or more? And if you've got something that costs $1 to make and people will only pay $1.50 for it, that's definitely a no-go. And of course, there's other elements for that. But the next item that most beginning innovators forget about is that in addition to having that good idea, you need to have the right team of people. Because no one person has all the skills that are necessary to take a product from idea all the way into the marketplace. The rugged American John Wayne approach just does not work when it comes to taking products into the marketplace. So you're going to need the right team of people that can do the things that you can't do. Now, the next item is, in addition to having the right idea and a real good team, is you need a thorough plan. You can't just write an idea on a napkin and then take it to an investor and expect to get $1 million and the manufacturers to make it and just package it and distribute it in the marketplace. That just does not happen. You're going to need a plan because you're basically launching a business is what you're doing. And you need to have a really good plan. Now, that plan will change based on circumstances, but you at least need to have thought out the plan. Okay? And lastly, in addition to having the good idea and having the right team and having that thorough plan, you need appropriate funding. This is what stops a lot of innovators, like, well, I don't have any money. Now, there's ways to get access to money through investors, but the thing to remember is that you're going to have some money. And anytime you go to an angel investor in order to get money, one of the first questions they're going to ask is, well, who's your team? What's your plan? And how much have you invested into it? Okay, because they want to make sure that you've got some skin in the game. So those are the four basic elements, for an entrepreneur starting out with a good idea that they want to get commercialized. Is it a good idea? Do you have the right team? Do you have a thorough plan? And do you have appropriate funding? Now, the very next step that you should do in order to decide on just the very first item, which is, do you have a good idea, is go to google.com/products. Okay, www.google.com/products. And if you invented, let's say, an electric car jack, and you want to see if electric car jacks already exist in the marketplace, where you kind of plug the car jack into the cigarette lighter and it lifts up the car so that you don't have to break your back, when changing a tire. You can go to google.com/products, enter in electric car jack, and you will see, yes, indeed, there are electric car jacks on the market. So that would be game over, for that, unless you've got, an innovative electric car jack that performs better and, costs less or whatever. Now, the next thing you can do is go to google.com/patents. So that's /PATENTS. And you could once again enter in electric car jacks, and lo and behold, you will find out that there are multiple patents for electric car jacks. And once again, that could be game over unless you've got some creative way of doing that. I say that because when you look at coffee sleeves like you find at Starbucks and Panera Bread and places like that, you will see that there's basically two different kind of coffee sleeves in the marketplace, and both of them have patents. One has got corrugated cardboard, the other one has little indentions, so their structure is different, and that's why they have different patents. So just because you find that something has a patent on it, you have to look very closely at the claims and determine whether or not what you have is different from what's out there. So finally, the very last thing that you can do, if you've gotten past these first two items of it's not in the marketplace and it's not patented, the next thing is to get a copy of our 41 question self-assessment. This is 41 different dimensions that you can self-assess your invention, your innovation by, and if it's turns out that you get a score of 60 or higher, that kind of indicates going to the next step. But if it's below 60, then it's like stop, run, don't walk away from this idea, because it's not going to be a good investment of your time and resources. The only exception to that is if you look at the weak areas on this self-assessment, and it's possible to really boost them up so that you've got something. So that's what we wanted to talk about today, is kind of clear up some of the confusion and let you know what the 4 elements are for being successful in the marketplace with a new innovation, and also what your next steps are of check out products with Google and check out patents with Google. And by clicking on this video, in the next day or so, you'll be receiving an email that has our 41 questions where you can self-assess your invention. So this is Ron Reardon, founder of Patents and More, saying good inventing, and goodbye.